Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my beginner's guide to Elite Dangerous walkthrough. Um, just a quick recap. In episode 1 we took the starter mission, but instead of flying straight to Dromi, we went via Chambo, scanned it and came back here and we made an extra 80 odd thousand credits. So we got a bit of money in the bank now. Now if you'd have just done this from start, you wouldn't have still haven't got enough money to do anything. So you're going to have to go and find some way of making some money by trading or whatever. And it takes ages. But we've already got our 80,000 in the bank. So we're ready to make some changes to the ship now. So we're going to do some outfitting. So it's starport surfaces, and on the bottom right, outfitting. And we're going to make our ship better. Now, at this stage, I'm still not going to shoot anybody, and I'm not going to get involved in anybody that wants to shoot me either. And we can make more money without getting involved in that. So why should we bother? Right. So remember, we sold our hard points, and we haven't got any utility mount. So in the utility. So let's have a look at our main things now. Now we got all E grade stuff, and I'm going to explain about those first of all. So the modules go from A to E of each characteristic. So this is power plant. So you go from A to E power plants, and A makes the most power and E makes the least. That's nice and easy to understand. But it's more complicated than that, because not only is E the worst in terms of power, but it's also the heaviest. And heavy slows you down in terms of your running speed, your boost speed or traveling, in normal space traveling speed. And it also cuts down your jump range. Let's have a look at what our jump is now. It's the middle one you go by because we're not carrying anything. So 9.16 light years. So D grade power plant is the lightest. So that's going to help us if we get a D grade. Not only does it make more power, but it's also lighter. So then you've got C grade, which is middle of the road. I'll come back to that. Then you've got B grade, which is also heavy like E, but makes more power than C and D and E. And is the strongest. It can take the most hit points in a battle. And A is the most power and most efficient. So B is actually stronger than A, but heavier, but doesn't make as much power. C makes less power than B, and is heavier than D, and makes the power in between them. So basically, there's no reason to have E modules at all that I can think of. D is always going to be the lightest. B is going to be the strongest, so you might want those in some combat builds, but most people go for A. And so it's generally A, D, and C if you can't afford an A or haven't got enough power. C takes, for running these things, C takes less power generally because it doesn't do as much. So, if your power plant hasn't got enough power, you can use a C grade or something as the best compromise. So let's just go through it again. Now, this is the power that the power plant can make, 6.4. And at the moment, we're using 4 megawatts. So we got more than enough power for what we need at the moment, but we need to get rid of that weight. So you go to the shop and use conveniently a D one there. Now in this place, they only got D modules, so this is the whole of the noob zone. So that's why we want to get out of it as soon as possible, so we can get a decent ship, which is much more interesting than one of these slugs. So buying options, exchange. It's going to get rid of the old one. We don't need to store anything at this stage. So already now the jump range went up a little bit. I don't know whether the speed did. You can see what's going to happen. So here's the thrusters now. So by going up to D, they're going to take a little bit more power. They're going to give a bit more thrust, and they're going to be a lot lighter than E. So let's see what happens when we do that. Now when I click on that, browse shop, if I just hover over D, see all those blue writing? Blue means better. So if I go to E, we can have a look. The speed, the boost speed is 325. and it's going to go up to 334, so we get more boost speed. And I look at the jump range, it's at 953, and it goes up to 993. So we get 40, whatever that is, 5% extra jump range, if I've done my sums right. Right, so let's take that. So it's win-win all the way round. So frame shift drive, that's going to get us more jump. So not only is it we're going to gain by making the ship lighter, but we're going to gain by getting more jump range because it's got more of its fundamental characteristic. So again, the speed's going up and the jump range has gone up massively. Now look, it's up to 12.23. And the life support, D again, and you can see they're all going up again. The power is in red because it's going down. But look, we're only using 4 megawatts and we got 7.2. So we're not struggling for power at all. Power distributor. Again, plus plus, but minus on power. And the sensors. And again, same thing. So our jump range has now got up from, what was it, 8 something to 13.15. That's a massive improvement. Our speed has gone up a lot as well, not that we need that. And with our better power distributor, we can now boost more frequently. With our thrusters, we've got more speed. With our sensors, we can see further on the radar. With our life support, it lasts longer. Not that you ever need it. It's very, very rare for you ever to need life support, except for when you're doing some types of combat. And but there's one more thing we can get that's going to help us, and that's a fuel scoop. So where are we? Optional internal. We got a cargo rack. We're never going to use that, but it has no weight. So when it's empty, so no penalty. So we go to the top, fuel scoop, and we can get a 2E. Now, fuel scoops don't actually have any mass, so it's just a question of the bigger the more, like the number here. So a 2 is always going to be more than a. Is it going to be more than a 1? Oh, I didn't figure that out. So let's have a look. So this one gets 0.03 tons per second, and that gets 0.02. So why would you want a D, which is more expensive than an E? What's the difference? Oops. Is it power? Very slight difference of power. So that's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, that the 2E is 50% better in terms of scooping. It's the same weight, draws a minimal amount of extra power, and is cheaper. Bit weird. Anyway, we want the 2E. Oh, I suppose, yeah, if you haven't got a D slot, say you were carrying cargo and you needed the 2 slots for cargo racks, that's when you'd have a D one. But ideally you want an A. So, but that's all we have here. So buying options, buy. So we've now got a fuel scoop. Now what that does, it means that we can travel indefinitely. We don't have to go to stations to refuel anymore, which is going to be really handy for our next trip. So we've done the outfitting to the ship. And one more thing now, when you scoop fuel, it makes the ship heat up because you're right close to the star. And the longer you're there, the hotter you get. But you can mitigate some of that heat by switching off modules that you're not using. So let's just have a look on the right-hand panel. So if we go to modules, right, we don't need the cargo hatch because we're not carrying anything. So double click that and it switches it off. That's saving 8% of the heat, of the power. And the other thing we don't need, I mean, you could switch off the docking computer as soon as you leave the station and then switch it back on when you arrive at the next one. So that would make you run cooler as well, save 6%. You can't switch off the life support because that's what keeps you breathing. Power distributor, well, we never changed the pips. Now, the power distributor, distributes power to those three capacitors: the engines, the shields, and uh, the other thing, whatever, the weapons. And um, it still does it even when it's switched off. But when you switch it off, the only thing it does is switch off your access to change it. So you can change it by switching it on anytime, but in a battle where you keep need to move your pips between your weapons and your systems and your engines, whatever, um, to get the optimum uh, chance in combat. Uh, but when you're just traveling, you never need pips because we've got no systems and we've got no weapons. So we need to lock that off, but we want to lock it off in the maximum engines position. So that would be with 4 pips to the engines, but you can't change the pips on the ground, so I can't turn it off just yet. You can just about see on the left there, you can see the columns. They've got 2 pips underneath them. Each time you change the power distributor, you re-outfit it, it sets the pips back to balance like that. So the first thing we need to do when we leave the station is switch off that power distributor. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to another place, and that place is Zeta Trianguli Australis. Now, if you look in a bank, we got 66,000, and that's enough to buy better modules, but there aren't any better modules here. So we could stay here and do useless trading, making a few thousand, a day, or there's a few missions you can do where you get confused and blown up all the time, or we can go to do a bit more of what we're doing and fly to our ultimate goal is to fly to a station where they have nearly everything with a bit of money in our pocket. And then what we can do is decide what we want to do next, whether it's mining, combat, more exploring, because you can make like 10 million an hour doing just scanning planets. Mining, you can make after a few hours, 100 million an hour. Um, you can do passenger missions. You can get up to 100 million an hour after a few hours. This is from start. Once we get to our next place, there's a very quick route to making lots of money if you want to, or you can just do whatever you want. Go and do some missions, go and unlock all the engineers. That's a lot of fun doing that. So there's a whole load of opportunities, but you need that basic money in your pocket to get started, and this will give you enough. So we can't go directly to that place. Well, we are sort of going directly, but we're going to collect some things along the way that's going to make it easier. So at Zeta Trianguli Australis, they've got a 2B frameshift drive, which can make us jump even further. We can't get an A one nearby, but we will have one soon. So what we do now, open up the galaxy map and type in. What I could do, I'll give you a list of these in the descriptions, so you can copy and paste. I've got to type it in, unfortunately. Trianguli Australis. Trouble is, if you type it and make a mistake, it just sits there grinning at you. It doesn't do anything. So there it is. So select it here. We haven't. Yeah, this one here is the system map, but because we haven't been there before, we don't have any system data for it. Some of these ones, if you've got no, it hasn't done it for any of them, has it? There are some. That one there, Matet, oh yeah, we've been there. You can click on that and see the system directly, and then, like, say we were going there, say we're going to that station, you can use this one straight there, this route one. So we used that one before if we arrived at the star and then want to travel to the station, you use that one. But from where we are, if you wanted to go to the station, you won't arrive there. You'll still arrive at the star, but it'll already be selected and found for you. Um, so you don't have to like re-navigate when you get to the star if you click that one. So I thought I'd just show you that while we're here. Oops. Right, so back to the route. Now, on the fastest route now, this is playing games. Yeah, sorry, economical route, it's doing 4 jumps. Fastest route, it's going to do it in 3 jumps, which is a minute quicker. So you now got the choice, you can use either one of them, depending whether you're in a hurry or not. But as we're collecting data and selling it, we might as well, at this stage, go for the economical route. So we're ready for the off. So auto launch again, see if it queues us up again or lets us out quickly. Do you want to take a bet? Right, so already I can now adjust my pips, but I don't want to switch off the docking computer just yet, the distributor just yet. There they are, look at that one. Where do they all come from? Is he going to let us jump the queue? Don't think so. They're all players as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Everybody waiting. Somebody been blown up there to the debris. Yeah, if you break any of the rules, you can get blown up. I think they're all NPCs. I've seen them do that before. The NPCs are the solid yellow ones. There's somebody just slipping out. We could just fly out, or he's crashed into him. So as long as you don't go over 100, you don't get fined. If you go over 100 and crash into somebody so they blow us up, like we got no shields, so somebody crashed into us and we blew up, they would end up in jail. Or is it going to damage us? Oh no. Yeah, it did a bit. That's unusual. It's because that one's stuck there for whatever reasons. So right, we're out now. I'm going to boost away just to keep clear of everybody's, because you don't know when they're not going to try and blow you up. But we got hopefully a bit more speed on them now. So 4 pips, 2 engines. And then I just want to get clear of these people before I start messing about with power distributor. So I'm looking for my mass lock. It's just gone out, so now I can get my frame shift drive going. And I probably just got time, to do my power distributor to switch it off. That's it, because we don't need to adjust that again. That's 3% hull we've lost. That's very, very unusual with a docking computer. It looked like something was jammed there. There was an NPC that the system couldn't see for whatever reasons. You do get some anomalies like that, especially in open. Very rare. So right, we fly around. We can fuel scooping now. So what we do, just going to stop there. Just going to stop there. We've actually filled up with fuel already because we're on economical routes. It doesn't take much. So basically, when we go forward, you see that yellow line. It's gone now because I've stopped. But you keep your dot outside that line all the time. I'll do it quicker at the next one. But while you're flying around to star, you can fire off your main discovery scanner. And we've scanned the whole system already. It's quite convenient. And the things that you're looking at is, see where it says heat, where it says fuel scoop active at the top of your screen, and underneath that heat, 62%, and then the fuel scooping rate underneath that. Well, we're full up, so it's not actually scooping anything. It's trying to, but what happens is, in this Sidewinder, as long as you keep that heat below 64%, you can sit here all day like I am now, scooping and filling up your tank. And but the moment it gets to 64, in all other ships it's 65, but this one always jumps from 64 to 66, so you can't actually get 65 in it. So once you get to 66, the heat will go up continuously until you start to burn, so you have to get away from the star. So we'll just do that again at the next one. So we've already scanned this system. There's only two, and they're both close to us, and the main discovery scanner found there. I think the same happens at the next one from memory. So here we go again. So we're at we got our frameshift drive going. So this is the way for like fast traveling, and it depends on how much fuel you use and everything. So again, we haven't used much fuel because we're on economical routes. So if we'd used the other one, you use about a third of your tank each time. So then you have to stop and fill up at each star. So it could be actually quicker making 4 small jumps and 1 big one, because we don't have to actually stop. So here we go. Get that dot outside the line. I'm at full throttle now. Fire off your scanner. And you see we're scooping. This 2, we've done the system now, so we're ready to go. I don't care about the heat now because I'm just flying past the star. It's gone up to 68. As soon as that's gone out, as soon as the fuel scoop's gone off, you can engage your frameshift drive. So you're ready to go again. So it's as quick as that, but that only works if you have a fuel scoop that can scoop enough to fill up your tank as you go past the star. Now, if ever you get to 80%, which you do, it does happen on the bigger stars with different ships, as soon as you get to 80%, turn away at right angles from the star and fly directly away from it, and you should get away before your ship overheats. When you get to 100%, your ship starts to burn and you have to pay for the damage. So here we go again, discovery scanner, 53%. So if I stop that, there is a bit of a run on. So if I stop here, see how the ship's just run on a bit. It's finally stopped. Oh, it's actually stopped at 65. Now I should be okay at 65. No, on this one it's 64. But all other ships it's 65. So see, it's gone 68. I'm just going to sit here now. See, now it's 70. So if I was filling up the tank, the ship's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Does it reach a maximum? Normally, like most ships, there's 70. It's still going up. And now you start to see some smoke. 80% you get a warning. So when you get the big bright stars,
warning, temperature critical.
There you go. So you see more smoke now. So just turn away at right angles and fly away at full throttle like that. And once that fuel scoop's gone off, you don't heat up anymore. So we got to scan this one. So I don't know whether that's the orbit. So not every system is as straightforward as what the other ones are. Sometimes they have multiple orbit lines. So let's just try here and see what happens. Sometimes they crisscross all over the sky. So I didn't use my discovery scanner. Oh, we got them all. There was 4 because I didn't find my discovery scanner, and they're all close, so it's found them all. So onwards and upwards. There's Zeta Trianguli Australis. So that's how to scoop. Just got to keep an eye on your heat. Generally it's 65%, but this first starter Sidewinder is, as far as I know, the only exception. You need to keep that below 64%. So what you do, you just tease the ship forward because you want to get the fastest scooping rate you can, generally. Right, so fire off my discovery scanner. So this is now a bigger, brighter one that would take more to get away from. So you don't want to stop next to it because once you've got this fuel skip, you're going to start to overheat. So I'm just flying away from it now. So we need to find the station. So I showed you how to find it with a system map. Another way of finding it is with the left-hand panel. So if you've got good eyes, you can scroll down. So we got Ramsbottom, we got Guest. So I'm going to go to Guest. But sometimes, you know, if you're in a hurry, you can look up and down there all day and not actually see it. So just open up the system map, it's easier to find on there. But it takes longer. Right, so full throttle when we get to 7 seconds. See if we get it right this time. There we go. 75% throttle locked in. No, I missed it, that's 0%. That's it, 75%. It'll just go up a bit. That's it. Every time I do these videos, not long before it, I've had new controllers and I get mixed up on the buttons. Right, now on a hologram we can see the slot, it's top right. So I've got to come in from the sort of top right direction. So that's up here. So you just still need to loop round a bit. But bear in mind, if you come too close to the planet, it slows you down. So just want to keep out from that a little bit. So I'll come in from here. And then we'll straighten up a bit when we get closer. So if you went like directly past the planet in a straight line, the gravity slows you right down. It takes longer. So even though it's ready to engage, I'm just going to go a bit further to come in from the front. So to get it just in time. That's it, single boost. Get our docking permission.
India, Victor, Oscar. You are now in Federation space. Follow all regulations before
So I'm going to,
and after landing.
this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly in myself. You can have a go at that. But bear in mind you've got no shields. It's just slightly quicker. That dot in the screen helps you to line up. Come in on the green side with the green light on the right. As soon as you're inside, 0 throttle. Now let the docking computer take over.
Okay, Commander. Proceed to
Because
landing pad
it's
0.
difficult to land a shieldless ship without taking any damage. Not that it costs much, but at this stage, when you've got a great big Corvette or something like that, it costs you like 100,000 just to take off a couple of percent.
Docking completed. Disembark when ready.
Right, so now we've got a chance to improve our ship again, and we can sell some more data. So let's get our money first. So we've got 64,000 extra now. So this is much better than running missions or doing trading. Just do these refuel and repair. I should have done those first. As a general practice, you want to do those before anything because it's dead easy to forget. Not that we need fuel, but you know, like other times you will. It's good to get the practice. So now we can do our outfitting again, and hopefully we've got that frame shift drive here. Now, if you're very lucky, could be the A1, because they have had that A1 here before, but recently it seems to be out of stock. Who knows? The B might be out of stock. You know, anything can happen. Nothing is consistent in this game, but you can use probability. So optional internals, fuel scoop. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong one, aren't I? I wonder if they've got a decent fuel scoop. We'll have a look in a minute. I don't think they have. Core internals, frame shift drive we wanted to do. And yeah, it's a B. So see where we were, hang on. We were on 13.15, this one 19.28. That's a massive improvement again. So now, I mean, remember before we could only jump like 10 minutes ago, we could only jump 8 light years. Now we've got 19.28, more than twice as much. Well, that's dead handy, you know, if you want to get about a bit. Right. So it's always worth checking out the fuel scoop, but I'm pretty sure that they don't have one here. Yeah, it's the same, 2E. It's always worth checking just in case. They're the two main things we want. So we're now going to go and get a 2A frame shift drive and a 2A fuel scoop. And with those, we can travel anywhere in the universe with a Sidewinder. I've done Elite Explorer, been everywhere in one. So that's all you need. Um, so that's the end of this episode. So this one was fuel scooping and outfitting. Um, the next one um, will be more of the same, and I'll show you that when we get there. So more travelling and more um, scanning until we get to the place where we can get our ship sorted out. So hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in episode 3.